Hey, that's me. Okay, so it's time to come clean. I've never played Limbo before, but after playing Inside, it is clear that I am the one who is missing out. From its stellar atmosphere and controls to its satisfying puzzles, Inside is a work of art that should be experienced. It is difficult to pin down exactly what the plot is for Inside, simply because of its ambiguous nature. You aren't given any real clues as to what's happening and thrown right in the thick of things from the game's onset. I mean, yeah, you could say that the game is about a person trying to escape capture, but that is only one interpretation of the game. Inside is one of those games where you have to finish it all the way through just to even try to begin to figure out what the plot is. And since I'm keeping this review spoiler free, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. I like puzzles, okay? I might not be the best in the world at them, especially Sudoku. I don't understand Sudoku, okay? Because it's like numbers and then you gotta figure things out and I'm not good with numbers. Anyways, I really do like finding solutions though. I really like racking my brain about things. And Inside has no shortage of situations like that. Those puzzles keep you occupied and they range from the simplistic, like just dragging the box across to hop over a fence, to the how the hell was I supposed to know this? You know what I'm talking about. Like those kind of things where you're just like, wow, I was supposed to know this just going into it? Those kinds of puzzles. I mean, there weren't too many of those kind of puzzles to give me trouble, but the ones that did give me trouble, I never really felt like it was on the fault of the developers as much as it was my own fault. Inside does a tremendous job of teaching you its rules and concepts, and it's up to you to know when and where they apply. The controls are extremely responsive and intuitive. If you've played any side-scroller or platformer in your life, you'll have no problem getting around. Hell, even if you were raised in a household that didn't let you play video games because they thought games rotted your brain, so you had to read books, and now many years later, you resent your parents for having you read all those books where your friends got to play Mario, and no one wanted to talk to you about Catcher in the Rye, and you now want to pick up this game? Is that you? Don't worry about it. Inside's got you covered, because the controls are that good. You'll be exploring those swimming levels in no time. If I had to describe the aesthetics of the game, aesthetics, I would think of desolate beauty as a word to sum it up. Playdead's artistic style is very simple. They are clearly fans of the Baroque. Hey, that AP art history class I took way back in high school is finally taking off. Take that, Mom and Dad. And that contrast of light and dark really helps set the tone of the game. The atmosphere is so beautifully dreadful, and I love how big and empty the world feels. You take a step and you can hear it echo for what sounds like miles. You truly do feel an overwhelming sense of being alone in the world, but I promise you it's not in a bad way. There isn't a whole lot of music in the game, so the sound design really had to be top notch, because you'll be hearing yourself run, jump, swim, get brutally murdered, and more very often, and once again Playdead delivers on that front too. I said there isn't a lot of music, but there are moments where you will suddenly hear a swelling of music and it ratchets the tension up to 11. Think Bioshock when you first confront a Big Daddy out of nowhere, if you've played that game. If not, just, imagine a scary movie where there's no sound and suddenly, bam, that music comes on and you know it's about to go down. I know I've been singing this game's praises, but I promise you it's not a flawless game. I mentioned earlier how the game sort of just throws you into it without any real setup, and I know that can be pretty off-putting for some people, especially those who aren't fans of the genre to begin with. There's also the fact that the game isn't super long, like 4, maybe 5-ish hours, and that's even if you do everything you could do, and it offers very little in terms of replay value. Sure, there are secrets, but that alone may not be compelling enough to spend $20 on the game. On the plus side though, the game is only $20, so it's not too big of a financial investment to make. With all that being said, I'm going to give this game a strong buy, because I think it's an experience worth having. It's beautifully crafted, and it's the kind of game that doesn't treat its players like idiots by holding their hand throughout the entire game. You know what I'm talking about. The big green or red or shiny arrow telling you, hey, do this to proceed. But you don't have to take my word for it. You really don't. In fact, you can see it for yourself and decide if you want to play it or not, if it's for you or not for you. I'll link my playthrough of it either in the description box below or in the video itself, and you can make your final judgment there. But for me, like I said earlier, this is a very strong buy. Well, it's been real with you guys. I am TTBN Gaming, and as always, stay axed.